Hello and welcome, creative friends, to a new video. From time to time, I like to switch up my binding methods to see what new ideas I can come up with. Today I'm excited to show you how to create a journal using 6x6 paper pads with a unique fixed hinge binding method. This technique allows your journal to lay completely flat, making it perfect for journaling, art journaling, and all sorts of creative projects. This idea might not be entirely new, but I haven't seen anyone using it this exact way, so I'm excited to share it with you. Let's jump right in. For this journal, the final measurements will be 5 by 5 inches, but you can easily adjust this by changing the size of your paper. You will want your paper to be about 1 inch wider than the final journal size. The key to this binding method is that the height of your pages should be an uneven number, such as 5, 7, 9 or 11 inches. Because of how the binding structure works. Keep that in mind if you want to make different sizes. Here's what you will need to get started. 6 by 6 inch paper pads or any paper that can be trimmed to 6 inches wide and 5 inches high. Ruler to create a template for accurate measurements. Leftover cardboard, I'm using a cereal box. Glue stick, no sewing required, and scissors. This is a beginner-friendly project. Perfect if you're new to bookbinding or just want a fun, creative journal that's easy to make. To make the binding process easier, I recommend creating a template first. I didn't use one at the beginning, but I quickly realized it makes a huge difference. Here's how to create your template. Take your leftover cardboard, like from a cereal box, and cut a 1 inch wide strip. Along the strip, mark every inch with your ruler. This will create evenly spaced 1 by 1 inch squares, which will serve as your guide for cutting the paper into hinges. Now let's talk about how to cut the paper and why the template is so essential. Mark all of your papers on one side using the template. Place the template along the edges of your 6 by 6 inch paper and transfer all the lines from the 1 by 1 inch squares. All the cuts for the binding will be done along these marks. The template saves you a ton of time, no need to measure every page individually. Once your papers are marked, you will need to trim them down to 5 by 6 inches, leaving a 1 inch leftover strip. This leftover strip will not be used for the spine, but don't throw it away. You can later use it for decoration throughout your journal. Once your papers are marked and cut, it's time to create 2 different piles. Each pile is cut differently to form an alternating structure. For the first pile, we will cut out the second and fourth boxes, leaving 3 tabs behind. This will create an E shape. For the second pile, we will cut out the first, third and fifth boxes, leaving 2 tabs behind. These pieces will fill the gaps of the E shape when we start assembling. This alternating structure is key because it allows the pages to interlock perfectly, forming a flexible but sturdy spine that makes the journal lay flat completely. It might sound a bit complex at first, but once you see how the pieces fit together, it will all make sense. Quick tip: don't throw away your cut-offs. The leftover strips and tiny inchies can be reused to decorate your journal. You can use them to create mini collages or as decorative elements throughout the pages. If you want a sturdier cover, glue 2 pieces of paper together for extra thickness. Now let's start assembling the journal. Start with your front cover. Take a sheet from your second pile and place it on top of the cover. Fold the 3 hinges from the cover back and glue them onto the second sheet of paper. Next, grab a sheet from the first pile and place it on top. Fold the hinges from the second sheet back and glue them onto the third sheet. Repeat this alternating process until you've added all your pages. You can add as many pages as you like. The structure is flexible. Another tip: if you're using directional paper, double check the orientation before you start gluing. It's easy to accidentally glue something upside down. reached your back panel, you can choose whether to leave your hinges visible on the outside for a more rustic look or hidden inside for a cleaner appearance. Sometimes your hinges might not line up perfectly, don't worry. You can trim the edges slightly or cover small imperfections with decoration. I also like to round the corners at the end for a neater, more finished look. And that's it! Your journal lays completely flat and is ready for decoration. Here's a quick flip through of the first one I made. I've started decorating 2 more covers and I can't wait to fill them. They are so handy and fun to work with. What would you fill these journals with? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more creative inspiration. Thanks so much for watching and happy creating!